Welcome, welcome, welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Natan Vrahosky, your host with the most. You are at the Frequency of Abundance group. Thank you so much for joining us. Today is Winning Wednesday, and one of the most powerful ones that we've ever had. I can tell you that without a doubt. The secrets we're going to unlock today will categorically move your needle professionally in the business and get you much closer to what you're looking for with that ideal target client set. If you don't know where you are, this is the Frequency of Abundance group. We are a free group on LinkedIn. I will put some information over in the ticker and in the chat so that you can see everywhere that we're coming and playing from. Go to LinkedIn, click the Frequency of Abundance, click on groups, you're there. We have captivating talks 7 days a week, every day. Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m., wake up and let's go. On the weekend, I let you sleep in a little bit, so we'll start off at 1 in the afternoon. We had Motivational Mondays, which was the best time to build your brand. We had Triumphant Tuesday yesterday, your ideal client blueprint, how to attract them effortlessly. Today is Magnetic Messaging, crafting an offer that sells itself. This is going to be so good. So I want you to feel that vibe before we even talk about what's coming up later in the week. Today is a pivot point. Now, if this is why you're always questioning why some offers are like practically flying off the shelf and selling themselves, and others, they're struggling to get attention. This is the secret to creating that irresistible offer, to really speaking directly to your client's needs. And it's not going to be a fundamental huge shift for you. It's going to be simple messaging tweaks that are going to turn maybe into yes. And that's what magnetic is going to feel like. So it'll be effortless for you. Now, in order to preface where we're coming from, what we're doing, and who we're coming through, I wanted everyone to know, here you go, you got your ticker, you got the Welcome to Frequency of Abundance group. If you have any questions, please, please, please put them in the chat, interact with us, have some fun, give us some love, send a thumbs up, send a love, a little heart icon, send some emojis. Reach out to me one-on-one if you'd like to be on the show, if you wanted to be interviewed. Reach out to me one-on-one if you'd like to go through any of the cool places that we get to play in the same sandbox, personally or professionally. For me, I've been an elite energy coach for the last 30 years. I've worked with 15,000 people, starting at Cirque du Soleil, Olympians, national sports teams. I wrote 2 best-selling books on energy. So I'm coming from that position of authority. And if you ever needed an elite energy coach, if you ever wanted to feel like I'm already at 9 out of 10 in my life, I'm looking for 9.1, 9.2. I want to squeeze that extra little bit. Reach out to me. I only work with those peak performers. If you're looking to see, is there a way to magnify your message? This beautiful Frequency of Abundance group, and the free group is on LinkedIn. We have a small private paid community. It's tens of dollars a month. But there you get to really feel that the tide rises all boats. There's workshops, there's group coaching, there's tons and tons of very cool things. There's a community, there's accountability. So reach out to me if you want to join the community. Reach out to me if you want Allura Creative to take a look at what you're doing as a coach, a healer, a therapist, or if you own an agency, and we might be able to white label and co-brand and play together. Let me know. There's so many ways to play. There's so many blessings around. We are a private, not-for-profit organization. So we're not here for the big money and rah-rah-rah shiny red sports cars. We're here to help those that are genuinely out there, and we serve those that serve others. So if we can serve you in any capacity, from being on the show all the way to working with you in any way you want, let me know. We want to shine a brighter light on what you're up to. And I think one of the easiest ways might be if we focus on magnetic messaging. 80% of sales are made by 20% of the offers. And the difference is magnetic messaging. So if people aren't going to be buying products, and back in the day people used to buy people, but I'm like, now it's a little bit more that people are buying solutions to their problems. So even if they like you, that's great. That helps make the decision faster and easier and better. But unless you're a solution to their problem, no. And even if they like you, they're going to have to nicely say goodbye to you. And that's okay. You're a great person, but your solution isn't a solution to their problems. Maybe for someone else, but not them. So in order to create an irresistible offer, we got to identify the core desire. It's not yours, it's theirs, right? Everyone does things selfishly, self-serving, what's in it for me. So if we craft a message that way, it's going to, what? Did you hear that? There's like a dog whistle blowing just to me. Exactly. That's what we're looking for. Now, I want you to, and I hope you brought pen and paper. By now you should know. We're in season 3 of Frequency of Abundance. You know you've got homework. You know how to milk and maximize, squeeze every last bit of value out of these. These are one-on-one talks that I've been doing after hundreds of clients through here in the last 5 years during the pandemic, where we don't just survive, but thrive. And it's only because of the others. Look at these lessons. Learn if it's possible in any way, shape, or form. Spread and share with others. It's out here for a reason. That's why we're doing it from a non-profit point of view. I want you to feel the number one problem that your ideal client has and wants to solve. So if you're an architect and you're looking for city planners and a cool new project to work on, what's their number one problem that they want to solve? Certain geographic locations, on time, on budget, yeah, the normal things, right? Write those down. And then describe an emotional state that your client's going to get in before and after solving the problem. So let that city planner feel a little bit of anxiety because they got times and they got a budget, and if they don't use their budget, they're going to lose their budget. They've got some emotional anxiety. But after your solution, when they go, yes, I can build it and on time and on budget and wherever the heck you want, it doesn't matter. There's almost like a palatable sigh of relief. And the analogy doesn't change. If you're an executive coach and you have an executive that's freaking out because they can't get themselves under control, even though they've got hundreds of people underneath their direct charge, you have to be in a place that you can share that emotional state and the change from before to after. Because the better you can articulate what it feels like, where you're at right now, and then what it's going to feel like after we work together, Bob, trust me, it makes that decision so much quicker and easier. Now, if you're feeling the vibe, give a thumbs up, give a thank you, give a shout, give a heart sign, pop in, ask a question, see if there's anything in here that may be going, oh, wait a minute, I'm curious about this. I would love to expand on it. In the meantime, I'd like you to craft a message, a proper statement. I help ideal client go from pain point to desired outcome without common objective. So I help my ideal client go from their pain point to this desired outcome without their common objection. An example would be I help busy professionals go from overwhelmed and stressed to organized and productive without sacrificing their personal life. I help busy professionals go from overwhelmed and stressed to organized and productive without sacrificing their personal life. I'm sure there'll be some professionals that would like to give you a call based on that magnetic messaging. They're going to just be like, that reaches out to me. So, a little nugget of wisdom. The key to irresistible offers is empathy. So we talked about this in another chat, where sympathy is like the guy on a cruise ship that's feeling nauseous hanging over the ship railing and about to not feel well at all. And meanwhile, this other person comes over. Now, if they feel for them, they're human, that's great. And if they feel what they feel and are going through the same feelings, that's sympathy. They sympathize with them. If instead they go and get them a glass of water, that's empathy. So I understand what you're going through, but I don't personally need to feel it and go through it myself, especially if I want to help you. And that's why as a coach you get to come from that place. You don't need to do or have or be what they are in order to help them. That's kind of the whole point. They want some different point of view that can show them what they can't already see. So the key to irresistible offers is empathy. If you can articulate the problem, think about this. If you can articulate their problem better than they can, they're going to trust you have the solution. So they come into a meeting, you're like, okay, overworked, overwhelmed, you're feeling stressed about this, nervous about that, a little bit unconcerned. Holy crap, how did you know? Have you been reading my diary? And by you articulating it so well, they're pretty sure that if you got that half of the equation, you got the other half, which is the solution. And that's how you want to be positioned as that expert. So, in this next segment, let's look at speaking to your ideal client's needs. This is that, remember we talked empathy a second ago? Well, this is going to be a beautiful exercise. This is an empathy map. Let's go through creating 4 quadrants. If you read, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, you'll be very familiar with this. So, quadrant 1, let's go think and feel. What are their fears and desires? And this is, again, your ideal client, right? Think and feel, quadrant 1. Quadrant 2, what do they see? What influences around them, right? Social media, competitors, what do they see? Quadrant 3, hear. Who are they listening to? Who are the friends, the influencers, the industry leaders? Who has their ear and attention? Who do they hear? And quadrant 4, say and do. What do they express outwardly? What are their wishes, their goals, their complaints? So how do they think and feel? What do they see? What do they hear? Who do they listen to? And what do they say and do? I want you to use the language from your empathy map in your messaging. Because if you start articulating these things, that is your audience. That is your ideal client. And you're literally speaking their language. You're speaking them better than them. Now, if your client says, I'm tired of spinning my wheels, use that exact phrase in headlines or social media posts. Don't change it. Always feel like you're doing the same thing? No, he said, I'm tired of spinning my wheels. Put a quotation mark around it and use that. Because that was a real person giving a real concern in real time. And here's the most powerful part. When one person tells you that, if the next person you speak to happens to identify and resemble that same ideal avatar and your target client, use the same line, word for word, on them. And ask them, does that resonate with you, Bob? So you met somebody and they're a coach and they told you, I'm tired of spinning my wheels. And then you go and you meet another coach and you say, hey, Jim, I just met Bob and he's telling me he's tired of spinning his wheels. Are you feeling that vibe too? And Jim goes, holy crap, I couldn't have put it better myself. Yeah, that's exactly how it feels. Thank you. So now you're in and you're part and people understand that you understand them as a collective. And that makes you even more powerful because now you're a leader. When you enter the conversation, already happening in your conversation, like we all have a running 24-hour day track going on in your head, right? That's your inner dialogue, that stream of consciousness and flood of words coming by. Okay, so when you enter the consciousness conversation that's already happening in your customer's mind, your offer becomes the obvious solution. He or she is thinking in their head, I don't know what this can do, I don't know if this can help me. Enter that conversation. Hey, Janet, if you're not sure if this can help you or what this can do, this may not be the obvious solution for you, but I think because of what you'd said and where this might be something that you might not have seen before, this actually could be. Would you like to explore that? That's the conversation happening in their head. Yeah, jump in and become part of the obvious solution. Number 3. Messaging tweaks that are going to convert. So let's do the so what test. I'm going to ask you to read your offer out loud. And after every statement, ask, so what? So, hi, I'm Bill, and I sell life insurance to people that need it. Okay, that's your offer. And I'm going to afterwards read, so what? If the answer isn't compelling or emotional, they need to go deeper. Okay, I'm Bill, and I create simple financial solutions to people's complicated financial problems. So what? Oh, actually, no, that is compelling. and it does get me emotional. Okay, you found it. Give you another example. Excuse me. This is why we have the Greek Mountain Tea. Our coaching program increases productivity. Okay, so what? So you can achieve your career goals without burnout. Oh, okay, that's compelling. Okay. Let's go with the proper action item for you right now. Let's give you 3. The 3 C's. Letter C. I don't know how you're looking at me, so you know the letter C. I'm not going to try to do the hand signal. Apply the 3 C's of magnetic messaging. Number 1, clear. Simple, Jargon-free language. No slang, no nomenclature, no industry jargon, no words inside that only they know or quote unquote should know. Okay? Quit it. Clear, simple, two people talk in language. Talk like people. 1, clear. 2, concise. Get to the point. No fluff. They don't need it. It won't help. And you sound like a fluffy person. It's not essential. Cutting to the core is going to be much better. You want to be brief. You want to be bright. And you want to be gone. Like a good magician or a good comedian, you want to leave the audience wanting more. That's how they pull you back for an encore. Otherwise, they're good. Thanks. So, 1, clear. 2, concise. 3, compelling. Addressing a burning desire or pain point. If I can compellingly address a burning desire or pain point and get to the point and concisely with no fluff give you a clear, simple, jargon-free language, that message is literally magnetic. And only magnetic to the right people. Like a magnet is only going to pull in metals that have iron in it. Only those people that resonate with this are going to be magnetically attracted to it. Now, if that makes sense with you, put a comment in the chat, put in a like, come in and say, hey, how's it going? There you go. Share with us a little something, something, and let me know where it serves you to come and play. Does it make sense to come on the show and be a guest? Does it make sense to come into our world and see if Allure Creative can shine a spotlight on you? If you're a coach, a healer, a therapist, if you're somebody looking to big up your messages, and whoever you're working with anywhere in the world. I was blessed enough to speak to a couple people yesterday internationally and didn't even know that this wonderful program that we do, Frequency of Abundance Group, was actually touching lives around the world and reaching out to messaging people in the UK, people in Scotland, people all over the place. And I was like, how wonderful. And it's a blessing to know, even if you don't see the hearts and the comments and the loves and the shares and all of that, it's happening. And it's happening until it hits a critical mass. That tipping point, once it does, then you get the comments and you get the likes and you get the shares. But know that you're still doing long before you're ever aware of it. You're doing good. You're doing good for others. It's the best kind of good you can do. So that's why later this week, I want you to come back on Triumphant Thursdays, from passion to profit, your 5 must-have systems for success. Swing by on Fearless Fridays, where we're scaling without burnout, smart time and energy management for coaches. This is going to help if you're a coach. Make sure you're here for that. On Successful Saturdays, we're going to be looking at the power of storytelling, how to build a brand that people love. And then on Soaring Sundays, we're going to end this week, first week back on our Season 3, Mastering Your Niche. Stand out, get noticed, get paid. So much fun in the sun, all right? So, you know where we're coming from, you know what we're up to. Let's get deeper into magnetic messaging to make sure that it just yanks your client to you. People don't want to buy your product, right? We talked about, do they buy you? Do they buy the solution? They buy the solution. Get over you. And in this case, this isn't even about you or your solution. We talked about everyone does everything selfishly, self-serving. What's in it for me? This is the ultimate example of that. People don't want to buy your product. They want to buy a better version of themselves. I'm a coach. I work with people at an elite level. Do they want to buy my personal momentum coaching program or my limitless coaching program? Maybe, conceptually. It's compelling. But they don't care. They don't care what it does. They don't care what's in it. They don't care how long I've taken to create it. They don't care how qualified I am. They don't care how much it costs. They don't care how hard it is. All they want to know is will it genuinely give me a better version of myself? If it does, then it's worth it, because it's one of the hardest possible things you can do. Make you better. And sometimes, just sometimes, it makes sense to have a coach. Because if you can name one athlete, one, at any level of recognition, anywhere in the world, in any sport, in any time in history, that didn't have a coach that was quite instrumental in their success, hey, I'll work with you for free for the rest of your life. It doesn't happen. It's not possible. It doesn't make sense. You can only look at inside you as you're going through it. You need somebody outside you looking at you, to let you know what others see. That's the power of a coach. Inside here, people aren't buying your product. They're buying a better version of themselves. Whether you're a coach, a healer, a therapist, it doesn't matter. If you're coming in as an agency and you're like, we do marketing and websites, great. People don't want you to actually show them a picture of them on Tuesday morning on their couch just sitting there eating cereal. They want a better version of themselves. They need you to show that, right? If you're a coach, they need you to help them build that. Focus on them becoming a better version of themselves. It's different than them getting rid of the pain point that they have. It's different than them getting a pleasure concept and going, ooh, I want this. That's a good reward. That's exciting. And I'll get rid of the pain. Yeah, those two are motivating, but not compelling. A better version of themselves is compelling. Always. It's a neat, innate, deeply seated desire that all people have. So if we want to call that proper call to action, we want it to feel natural and magnetic, right? We want it to have gravitas. We want the words to have weight. Okay. So your CTA, your call to action. Let's take a look. If we wanted to craft it as a service, and I want it to feel like a service, not a sale, look at an example like ready to stop feeling overwhelmed and start achieving more with less stress. Let's chat and see how we can make that happen for you. The call to action is let's chat, but it's so we can see how we can make that happen for you, you selfish person. Of course you are. That's why we're crafting a magnetic message. How many people have been to a networking event? And put this in the comments and chat. Raise a hand. Send a heart or a like. You ever gone to a breakout room and somebody could not stop talking about themselves and their education, their experience, their expertise, how super wicked awesome they were? Never once mentioning their client or what they do or how of any benefit other than to themselves, hearing themselves, this is of any benefit to anyone else. It's not just so what. It's like, oh God, please stop. Raise a hand if you ever felt that. This is a completely different message. Listen to how self-serving that sounds to that person compared to how we're putting this into our audience's voice and making it self-servant to them. Are you ready to stop feeling overwhelmed and start achieving more with less stress? Yeah, I want to take away the bad. That's the overwhelm. I want the reward. That's the start achieving more. And I want to make sure we don't tax me and my resources. So yeah, with less stress, ding, ding, ding. And don't be cute and be like, give me a call. No, let's chat and see how we can make that happen for you. Because by accepting that, you're subconsciously accepting the invitation, which is how we can make that happen for you, which is, hi, become a client of mine. They accept and they go along. When you're dealing high ticket, when I sell one of my high ticket coaching offers or a VIP full access package to myself, I don't talk about here's the price and the cost. We talk about here's the investment. If we put a down payment or deposit down, here's the initial investment. We talk about the entire thing as this is what an engagement looks like. So an engagement with me is $50,000 for a year. Initial deposit, that sounds gross. So we say initial investment, it's 20%. So put $10,000 down, the rest gets paid out monthly. And all of a sudden things make sense. And if you'd like me to help you acquire that today, yes, I want to be the buyer. I want to be in the power. Everybody loves to buy. Everyone hates to be sold. Do you like to be sold? Everybody hates to be sold. But everybody loves to buy. I like going to the store and going, woo, yeah, let's go shopping. Who doesn't? Stop it. Everyone loves to shop. Everyone loves to buy. Everyone hates to be sold. So how the heck do we have this conflict? The phrasing. If you're ready to stop feeling overwhelmed and start achieving more with less stress, let's chat. See how we can make that happen for you. By the person taking that call with you, 50%, if not more, of all of your work is done. It is a very simple conversion conversation to turn them into a raving fan and a very happy client. You just let them get what they want. You don't promise them things. You don't go about making things up. You ask deep, intelligent questions to get to the heart of why they're here and what a better version of themselves would really look like. And then you genuinely see if you can provide that. And if you can, you should just say so. I believe I can help you get that. Would you like to see what that looks like? Yes! Ding, ding, ding. It's the easiest thing you've ever done because it's a value-driven call to action. All right. Let's create a call to action. Let's restate the pain point, any kind of desire they might have, right? The reward and the pain. Let's offer a solution and invite the listener to take the next step. You saw me give that example several times. Make one for you. If you want me to critique it, send it my way. I would love to play. You have my contact information. Reach out. I would love to see this. Be brave. Post one of these. Put it in my community. That way I can blast it out to about 15,000 people. Put it in your community. Put it in both. Have some fun. People need to see your messaging. People need to know what you're up to. Not because it's you and your vanity, but because it genuinely, selfishly, self-servingly could help them. That's why they're curious. That's why they're interested. Everyone's looking at what's in it for me. Speak to that. Magnetic messaging is about attracting, not chasing. Make sure your call to action pulls them in because it offers a solution they already want. So I'll give you these elements, and I wanted you to use them to keep your audience and who you're talking to engaged. Right? I want you to provide them real value. I want you to give them actionable steps to create their own personal desire to come work with you. And that comes through the magnetic messaging. Now, if you need more examples, if you need more help, if you want to work on me and you one-on-one, and you want to come and you want to state how magical you are and come on one of the shows, reach out. If you want to have Allura come and put a huge spotlight internationally on who you are and what you do, and have these incredible executives in Wales come to one-of-a-kind events that we create for you, reach out. If you want to see what working with an elite energy coach looks like, and if you're ready to take yourself from 9 out of 10 to 9.1 or higher, reach out. Love to see what you're coming up to. Love to see where you're at and see how we can help push that needle a little bit forward. So this week, you got such intensity, and we're only halfway through. This one, magnetic messaging, like I said at the beginning, so crafty, so powerful. You might need to watch this episode a couple times. I want you to remember your messaging isn't about you, right? It's about the transformation your client will experience. What's the promise? I give you $5,000, you give me. What's the promise? What's the transformation that your client will receive? That's what your messaging is about. So is it a better version of themselves? Okay. What's the transformation your client will receive? A pain-free way to get that better version of yourself. Ooh, I like that. Okay. So I'm going to ask you a big challenge. Test one new messaging tweak this week. Tweak something you're already doing so you can see if there's an impact. You start a new messaging, you won't know if it was just a better message from the beginning. But if you have a message going out and only X number of eyes are on it, and you tweak it, and now it becomes magnetic, and now you doubled or tripled the amount of eyes on it, that might be a great way to see if that actually worked. Right? Start with the end in mind. Stephen Covey, 7 Habits, highly effective. What does success look like? If we don't put that goalpost, how the hell are we supposed to get a goal? How do we know what success looks like? Quit moving the goalposts. That's ridiculous. Focus. One message. Tweak it this week and observe the difference. Looking for different engagement. Ultimately sales. But look for where it makes an impact for you. So, we've been playing, we've been saying, we've been staying. I'm inviting you to come back tomorrow. It's going to be super duper fun. We're looking at Triumphant Thursdays, from passion to profit. These are your 5 must-have systems for success. And I can tell you that if you're already successful and you only have 2 or 3 of them, that makes sense. It doesn't take more than 1 to get success. But the other 4, they ensure your success. They launch your success to the next plateau. And they magnify and multiply your efforts. I invite you to join us tomorrow. I invite you to join us all week. Bring a friend. Put some eyes on here. Give a thumbs up. Send out a love and a like. We're doing this to help everybody. On behalf of Allura Creative Agency, I am Natan Verhovsky, your host with the most. I will see you here tomorrow. I am so excited. Welcome to the Frequency of Abundance group. Join us on LinkedIn. Reach out if you wanted to join our community privately. And I will see you tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen.